Yeah, g'day mates, I am bringing you guys another hidden tips and tricks video. This is probably the last one I'm going to do for a while, considering the fact that I am scraping the bottom of the barrel for this one, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to do regular gameplay videos where I kind of give tips and tricks in that regards, but it's like hidden game mechanics and whatnot. Anyways, before I go into this video, I want to thank Metal Pigeon once again, because this video wouldn't be possible without him, so thank you so much. Anyways, let's get into the video. Alright, so first off, I want to talk about Firebase Georgina. There are some secret hidden items and things in this map. And no, I'm not talking about the CIA hiding a UFO in the bushes somewhere. No. But look, some people love it and some people hate this map. I don't mind it. I love sneaking behind enemy lines and destroying their tunnels and shooting them in the back and making them panic. And I know a lot of you might already know this, but I had no idea that this was a thing. But there is a secret tunnel on B side. Like Metal Pigeon said that there's a tunnel there, and I've heard people say that there is a tunnel there, and I'm like, what tunnel? There's nothing on the map. There's no tunnel. I couldn't find the tunnel, and I thought people were messing with me, but lo and behold, there is a tunnel, and there is some pretty cool items in there, such as a sawn-off shotgun, a Thompson, one of my favorite weapons in the game, a M1 Garand. Now this tunnel does continue onto Seaside, and that is where I was absolutely blown away. I had no idea that there was a tunnel here. Seems like a good spot to set up some traps. But speaking of Seaside, there is a couple of special weapons there. There is a DP-28 in the mortar pit, and if you're playing as the Americans and you're sick of using the M16 or M14, you can pick this weapon up, and it's really good to kind of just shoot into the bushes. And also in that mortar pit, there is a stack of Mosin Nagants in the background. This is very useful if you're playing as the Americans and you lose the point and you need to retreat. Grabbing one of these weapons before you go back to the D site, because that whole, level or that place in the map is basically open rice fields. So you want to have a weapon that's good for long ranges. But before you go onto D site, there is a tree that you can actually climb, and there's a little platform on top that you can perch yourself on. You can go up there and be a sniper, but you will get counted if people do know about this spot. Or you can use your newly acquired Mosin Nagant and shoot people from up there. You can also set up a Dushka, which you can use to shoot onto D site, E site, and even F site. But speaking of F site, if you are playing as the VC and have the RPG role, please aim for the sandbags at the front, not the pillbox looking things with the sandbags. I want you to shoot the lone sandbags, because they can be destroyed by grenade launchers and RPGs. They don't get destroyed by regular grenades as far as I've tested. This can make running onto the site so much easier compared to vaulting over the sandbags, which leaves you vulnerable for a couple of seconds. Now at the back of this F site, as an American, you can access an armory. There is an M60, a grease gun, and an M1 Garand back there, and there's a couple of 1911s scattered around the map as well on the F site. And the thing is, I don't want to be that guy, but I feel obligated to say this, that if you're playing on a server with me and we're on Firebase Georgina, I don't want to be rude or anything, but no one is allowed to take the M1 Garand, because that's my gun. That's my favorite gun. One of my favorite guns. I want to use it. You can't use it. That's my gun, okay? I'm joking. But anyways, on to my next tip, and this is actually my favorite tip. So you know the MAZ-49, the grenade launcher, it doesn't shoot very far, but turns out if you change the rangefinder on this weapon, you can turn this into a self-mortar, and I'll tell you how. So if you didn't know, at the bottom of every map, there is a legend on how big each grid size is. Now you will need to use your estimation skills, or you can press the Z key or use a scout recon to kind of judge the distance, but if you press the Z key, it'll tell you how fast something is. And this means you can set the rangefinder to a certain, range, and then you can go into the mortar mode and you can fire it up to 260 meters away. Now, even if you miss by a couple of meters, the grenade blast radius is like significantly better compared to the American grenade launcher. It does some real damage, and even if you miss, you're still going to disorientate them, do damage, and you might be able to correct yourself for next shot. Alright, so the next couple of tips relates to snipers in the game. Now, if you're lucky enough to actually get a sniper rifle, for starters, I'm jealous. Secondly, did you know that if you press the X key, instead of changing firing modes like on all other guns, I mean, you can't really change the firing mode of a Mosin Nagant, but anyways, you can actually use the iron sights of that weapon. Now, not all sniper rifles, have this feature, but my personal favorite, the M1D, you can use it as as a normal M1 Garand if you press the X key, because the scope doesn't actually interfere too much because it's off to the side. But you can also do this to the Mosin Nagant, the SVD, and the Maz 49. But those last two guns, the iron sights, are pretty freaking shocking if you use the sniper variant. I honestly don't recommend using it, but I mean, if you have to, such as in close quarter combat, highly recommend using it. But speaking of the M1D, the scope's crosshair, now I don't know what you call it, but it functions a little bit differently. So basically, you can see where the lines intersect. You don't want to place the I don't know what I'm just going to call them crosshairs, even though I don't think that's what they're called. If you place that over someone's head, you're gonna miss. You need to use the tip. That is where the bullet is gonna go. So when you can see on screen that when I put the tip over the person's head, that sounds disgusting, I'm sorry, but you can see that I get the kill. But if I put the intersection over the person's head, it misses. So if you do pick up this weapon, be sure to use the weapon where the tip ends and not at the intersection. Alright, so my next tip is if you see a trap, don't try jumping over it. For some reason, the player has an inability to jump more than an inch above the ground, because if you try and jump over traps, you will have your ankles blown off by a tripwire mine. And the last and final tip is if you use the crouch key while using the Dushka, you can hide under it, similar to how you could in Battlefield 2. I don't know if any OGs here remember that game, but look, this is a good feature because if you set up the Dushka behind some sandbags, you can crouch underneath it and you can still fire the weapon. So you can literally hide there. I'm pretty sure you can reload the weapon while still crouched. So you literally become an unmanned turret. And this also prevents Dushka related injuries such as your head your head just randomly exploding due to a sniper 0.3 seconds of using this weapon. Anyways, I'm gonna leave today's video there. If you did enjoy it, please do leave your like, subscribe, and share the video with your friends. Anyways, my name is Tantu and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.